Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. It's May 4th, 2026. Just tapping in, hoping you had a great weekend. Your week's off to a powerful start. Mine definitely is. This full moon is mooning, bringing closure to things that have been open-ended for far too long. And somehow I feel like it's not quite done yet. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. So I hope that you are having a similar experience in the best possible way and for the greatest good of all that is valuable and significant in your life. And it's just, the start of a pivotal month. It's only the 4th. There's so much more in store. So without further ado, let's see what time it is on the clock. Oh, it's 1:01. Okay, confirmation. Closing and new beginning. Ending and beginning. 1:01. So yeah, let's see what we got today. Wow. King of Pentacles come through. Not the Five of Pentacles right after. What's that about? Let's see. What's between these two? Somebody losing it all? Somebody had it all and lost it all? I hope not. Let's see. What's between these two energies? Oh, snap, y'all. And it landed in reverse. Some type of contract's been canceled. Or no, it's a contract that has been defaulted, or what's the word when you don't breached. That's what I'm trying to say. So, but with the worst energy possible, it was already a faulty contract, which with the devil in reverse is saying to me that somebody made a deal with the devil. They wrote a check that they ass couldn't cash, pretty much, in layman's terms. But they made a deal with the devil, or with terms that were that were pretty much like impossible, or there were some type of hidden terms within that contractual agreement that were binding in such a way that it was pretty much built to fail, like constructed to fail, or someone was slated to fail. And it seems like that they did. They took an insufferable deal, is what I'm hearing, that may have been tempting. It had a great deal of promise on the other side of its completion or execution or payout, reward, whatever. But I keep just the terms, like the items that would need to have been fulfilled were just never slated to be so. It's literally like an upside down contract or something like that here, where somebody was getting the raw end of the deal anyway, and there might have been like a very slim possibility of coming out on top, like a very narrow chance of someone fulfilling their end of the bargain. And then of course, but it's like it's given like Jinn vibes or genie vibes or something like that, where it's like what is presented to be on the front end was always deceptive. You know, not to, especially on the genie side, like to give them a bad rep. I know it's fiction. It's fantasy, but you know what I mean. Just that type of energy where it's like, I even hear like leprechaun. I don't even know why I hear that. Like Rumpelstiltskin type of energy. Like, yeah, if you can do this, or you riddle me this, or if you can deliver on this, this, and that, then I'll give you the whole world, or I'll give you all the riches your heart's desire. And it's like the outcome is so tempting that you would want to take the chance. And maybe someone felt so inflated, confidently, that they could beat the odds, you know, or fulfill the demand, but it's not looking good. Yeah, it's like somebody staked a lot. They risked it all for a biscuit. Like they staked a lot on whatever this chance was. Almost as if, you know, like they put all their money on it, or they bet it all, you know, on this chance. But it was, the odds were just too great. I was almost the Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, the Six of Wands. Somebody's come out on top over here. It's literally given like somebody's going into poverty and somebody's coming out. It's like somebody like is bound to some type of debt. That's what it is. And someone has either been released from debt or has found a way to like surmount that obstacle, whatever the debt could be represented by with the Five of Pentacles. That's exactly the picture that's making. Let's see, let me get one in between those two. While we at it. Well now, that's a hell of a victory, I'll say. Damn. Wow. It's like a destiny swap of the most dramatic proportions here. That's crazy. Yeah, somebody is losing it all, somebody's gaining it all. It's literally like a transfer of wealth here. Oh, that's too much, but let's see. Yeah, look at this. The Four of Wands, the Four of Cups, like two different dynamics, two different experiences. Somebody's establishing something firm and dependable and that has longevity, and somebody's licking their wounds. This is just literally a tale of two choices here, or decisions. With the Moon card. What's between the moon? Because I'm hearing on the upside, it's just like, ain't no telling what the future holds for a person in the Six of Wands and the ten of Pentacles. I guess for either side, there's like this mysterium that looms in the, in the future about how things are going to play out or how things are unfolding. But in one regard, it's a very bleak outlook, and in another, it's very promising. But it's like something still yet to be revealed. Let's get one. That was almost the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, again, like a this or that type of thing. Like, which side are you on? What fortune did you get? What, like when you spin the wheel at the Wheel of Fortune, like where you land? Where did you land? It's all about to be very clear and very evident, if it's not already. Oh man, with the Queen of Wands, very clear. Like, no, what the Queen of Wands is giving me, like, abundantly clear and affirmative, like the type of confirmation or affirmation that stabilizes your confidence, your courage, your outlook, your personal security, particularly about the future, or at least your ability to adapt to whatever it shall be, or to even activate what you desire most for it to become. That's the Queen of Wands here. There's no measure of insecurity on what she can create, especially with all the resources at her disposal. It's one thing to create with nothing, and she might be able to do that too, but then we talking about having, wealth and abundance, support, maybe even recognition, notoriety for your accomplishments, just for being who you are, really, for your purest identity, that being celebrated or maybe even rewarded, or at least just recognized and affirmed. There's no limitation on what can be accomplished under those circumstances or created. Oof, wow. Queen of Pentacles. I mean, I don't know what the moon is who the moon is a mystery to, quite honestly. Maybe on the outside looking in, it's still mysterious, or like what's the word I'm looking for? Like something fascinating to observe, to observe or spectate or whatever, maybe even to speculate, like, how does someone go from rags to riches? The mysterium is in the moon card. Like, what, I guess, and it's left up to whomever has the testimony, as to how much they would like to divulge or leave a mystery, or, keep or conserve as their own secret, you know what I mean? Like someone being able to give like the secrets of their craft or the secret to their success, and it being within their power of choice to decide who they share with or don't, and there being no particular pressure. Like, you could just live by as an example, a living example of, just the sheer evidence of how, how possible it is. Or you can actually choose to be like a poster child, so to speak, or a living testimony. Not just even a let me tell you how I did it, but let me show you how I did it. And maybe just the life that one gets to lead under such great fortune and favor is exemplary all in itself. But I think the moon card, to me, like, surrounded by so much positivity, if it speaks more to like the mystery behind the magic, in a sense. Maybe even the mystery behind the manifestation. Yeah, okay, so like the secrets of somebody's manifestation abilities or power or techniques, to put it practically. Yes, at your discretion how you would like to share that, exemplify that, display that, or not. And hell, some of it might, honestly, some of it might still be a mystery to whomever is, actively in this energy, such as the Queen of Wands or turn Queen of Pentacles or whatever we're talking about here. Somebody might still be trying to fully understand themselves, and the mystery behind how they've been able to turn a dire situation into something productive, dare I say, even prosperous. That might not even be fully clear to whomever is in that firsthand experience position, let alone, because I know that's the case for me sometimes, like how I kind of started out in style. Um, there are certain things that I just did naturally, innately, that were my own philosophies that worked for me, be circumstantially or whatever, how to build a wardrobe, how to keep my wardrobe cleansed and fresh, and so on and so forth, how um, to curate my own personal style. And sometimes, after so many, this is many years ago, but you just do a thing and it's natural to you. But after so many inquiries and so much fascination about your particular style or your method to your madness, what I had to eventually do is go to the drawing board and actually almost work backwards, like to consider what is it that I do that works for me in a way that I could easily translate or transmit that knowledge to someone else to then adapt on their own terms. So I did that, in a lot of ways, and simplified processes of style in a way that I could easily communicate and make easy for other people, or particularly other women. But sometimes you don't know what you're doing while you're doing it. You're just surviving or just learning how to adapt to your circumstances, your situation. For me, the foundation of a lot of my style choices and evolution in that regard was on account of what I didn't have, from not having a particularly expansive wardrobe to choose from, or being able to afford to buy new clothes every season, or to have the hottest designer pieces in my closet, because my life did not allow for that. So I had to figure out how to express myself creatively, fashionably, confidently with what I had, and that became a very prescriptive approach almost, well, I'll say specific anyway, to building a wardrobe overall, so that regardless of whether you have a little bit or a lot of it, you never have to feel a lack of confidence when you step out into the world. So that's just like a minor example to some degree of how sometimes you could just be doing you, not realizing the significance that it has maybe to other people. And, maybe that's a message here to really consider pulling back the curtain or lifting the veil on your secret sauce to some extent. And of course, with discernment, because maybe some things are not for everybody, or some aspects of your sauce are not to be shared. But some might be, and it might be just as profitable for you to divulge that information as it is for someone else. Like literally here, you might be sitting on a money maker, or something that's extremely profitable that could also change lives, significantly, or change perspectives. I know I am, so I'm talking to myself in many regards, but it's coming soon. Don't you worry. It's coming soon. And the confirmation for me personally is that it's coming sooner than I even think, from the fact that I'm even saying that in this message. It's like there's been a time and a season for things to be in preparation, to be, to kind of be, for the kinks in some ways to be worked out before you present it to the public or present it for public consumption. And in some ways it felt like a long time coming, or like almost like there have been moments when it took a complete back seat, as if you almost completely released it or forgot about it, or resolved to quit, or leave it unfinished. But nothing is unfinished that's meant to have an impact in the way that I'm speaking of. So it might be time, or you might find that within this month of what I perceive to be accelerated closure and progression, that some things that you may have thought were never going to see the light of day, or you have slated in your mind, are going to be brought to completion or presentation at a much slower rate, might actually be first up out the gate. I don't know, I just felt like I need to say that. Ooh, with the Eight of Pentacles here. Yeah, things you've been working on that already have bones, that have a foundation, that have structure, that may already be in production, or at least the things that inspire you to manifest and manufacture. That thing that you do virtually for free is what really is breaking through in this season. Wow, it's so positive. All right, let's see what else. A couple more and I'm gonna head on out. And I'm just getting like your hard work, maybe even in the ways that are not directly associated to this thing that I'm speaking of. Like I said, where you've had to divert your attention from one workshop to another, maybe where you were building a brand or a product or a business, and you had to put that on the back burner to build your character, to manage it, or build your spiritual consciousness, to work smarter and not harder, like to create at a higher frequency, maybe even to to reimagine what the future holds in a different light, or for it to be repackaged in a way that may have had a limited scope before, maybe even a scarce scope. Like so many things may have needed to take place before the materialization of your passion and the way that I'm seeing it play out here. And, so it's not as transferable as work and reward as we perceive it all the time. And I've said this often, like the divine's perception of hard work is measured differently. So if you were working on yourself and on your confidence and self-esteem and personal security and responsibility, discipline, figuring out what your brand of magic is by just simply allowing yourself to express it freely, all of that constitutes as hard work, and in some ways hard labor, in a way that does count when it comes to the divine's what do you call it when you get in review, the divine's review. Yeah, so let's see, one more, well, probably more like two more, but oh snap. And I wouldn't even take this normally, but this is so profound. I mean, I kind of would, like 2 cards is not bad, but look at this is what I'm talking about. This is the ultimate ending to what I'm saying here. The 9 of Pentacles, that's literally the reward, like financial freedom, abundance. And here is the background work that I'm referring to when I'm saying like doing the work on yourself intuitively, spiritually, the devotion that it requires to radically put yourself first, to love yourself, to embrace yourself and all of your your little quirks and things of that nature, to more deeply understand exactly why you are the way that you are and why you do what you do. Like establishing a why that can be the most mysterious of all of our ambitions. But once you establish that, it becomes the force fuel for everything that you do moving forward, which ultimately does contribute to the working smarter, not harder situation in your life, or reality in your life. So yeah, it's like, I don't even know what to say about that. It's somebody literally being proven and affirmed to be, a powerhouse in their own right. The Queen of Pentacles, the like, it's just giving boss energy. The Queen of Wands, the 9 of Pentacles, it's like not just a matter of, and here it is, this is really an emphasis on your secret sauce being mysterious when we're ending here with the High Priestess, because there is something that someone does, or there's some technique or some type of level or gift or trait or something that someone does naturally, for the most part, that having refined, like I was saying, like taking what's natural to you and then refining it over time, over years, over, in a determined and devoted way to the craft, that really has kind of taken, or has the potential at least to take on a life of its own, where, it can't help but be profitable and prosperous, at least to whomever beholds this trait, but let alone if you actually decide that it's something worth sharing, something worth displaying, broadcasting, publicizing, I don't know, like whatever mode of expression or communication that one could decide to share through, I just see is not only popular, but it's also profitable and prosperous, because it's not just a matter of a monetary or material return. This is an establishment of a legacy that's set apart from anything, either in its field, in its market, in the industry, whatever it is, it's set apart. And whomever is bringing it to life is set apart, or was set apart to do just that. So I'm not trying to urge anyone to be on public display beyond their desire or will to be so. But it just seems to me that whatever this is, it's kind of inevitable. Like, it's kind of inevitable. And maybe what you may get to control is just how much is on display or how much is shared. I keep wanting to say divulge, but there's another word that I'm hearing, but I'm not hearing. Let me see. Let's see. It's at your discretion for sure, just how much. But I feel like for a person such as this, considering myself, right, to bring it back to me, disclosed, that's the word, disclosed, that's the word. That's exactly what I was thinking of, disclosed. For a person such like myself, I'll share everything. I'm not really here to be, I'll say this, I don't desire to be a gatekeeper to just, hoard information and best bets and life experiences that could help someone else just for the sake of being the one to say, yeah, I know it, and you don't. That's not my thing. The biggest delay on all the things that I look forward to sharing is just protecting my intellectual property, which is a thing, before it can be vulnerable to be poached, so that even if there is a discrepancy with stealing or something, or even bad contracts as we started with here, at least I will have done my due diligence to protect the value of my work and my creativity before I just throw it to the wolves, because you can't expect anyone else to protect you beyond you protecting yourself first and foremost. But for me, that's really where the buck stops. As soon as everything is in the clear and perfectly protected and accounted for legally, I'll share everything that anybody would ever want to know, and anything that I could ever offer as a best bet to creation, especially to women. So that's a matter of experiences, again, my own personal practices, my philosophies, my beliefs, my past, my projection of the future, any and everything that the divine gives me the green light to share is good as done, so it's not, this is like somebody that's not necessarily looking to just gatekeep the secrets of the universe per se, but you do have to use wise discernment as to at least how you disclose that information, so that the integrity of it is protected, most importantly. Yeah. Yeah, but somebody's definitely got some keys. Somebody's got some keys, and they have a great deal of value to add to the conscious creativity of the world. Dare I even say the universe? And I guess it's just, like I was saying, like, it's all in good time, all in good measure. But I feel like there is an acceleration that's happening right under our noses. Whereas I said before, the thing that you might think is first out might not necessarily be on the divine's schedule. You know, that it might actually be that thing that you feel less ready to fully express or share or disclose, that is the thing that's about to be, pushed out of production. No turning back. But it's all good. Whatever it is, it's all good. Like this is good energy here for sure. We got the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. What's that? The Queen of Cups. So much queen energy here today. I love that. So yeah, this is something that's built to last. It's built to go the distance. Like I said, it's a legacy that's being lived and led here. And there are so many things, like I was saying in the very beginning, like the things that needed to be brought to closure or detached from, especially with the Queen of Cups. It might be an emphasis on some emotional attachments that had to be undergone before there was space made, viable space made for this creativity to fully bloom. Maybe this is representation of contracts that needed to be canceled in spirit and in truth before, and maybe some have lost it all, and in some ways maybe had to walk away from everything or start from scratch multiple times, or forget about certain ambitions to focus on stability and security in a different type of way that maybe was a little less fulfilling. But it's all paying off is what is given to me. Like everything, every decision that's been made, every contract that has been completed or canceled, every decision and choice that was made in the highest frequency possible at that present time, every loss that was taken, every win that may have felt temporary, everything is culminating into one big triumph again, where it's going to be a remarkable reflection of advancement on some part that will be fascinating to either disclose, document, or demonstrate. One way or another is noteworthy. And I get the sense like I don't think I quite finished that thought where I was going, like the more, I didn't, because what I was trying to get to about saying my desires to share is that it makes me happy to share when I have something of value to offer. Like it's just as fruitful for my spirit. It rewards me just as much as even a material return, which is why I had to learn and mature, to learn discretion and to learn to be more protective of my energy and my intellectual property before I just blurt it out and share it with whomever will listen or whomever asks. I had to learn that because it wasn't innate to me. I most naturally wish to share more than I wish to withhold. But when there's integrity to be protected for the greatest good of all and not just a few, you figure out a way to you find a way to mature, and grow, especially from the consequences of choices you've made in the past. And like I said, it pays me just as much to have something of value to offer anyone on a personal, intimate scale and on a grand one, maybe even public or global scale at some point. Nothing, the more that I have to share that can be of service, and then in the more ways that I can share that can be of service, the more rewarding it is for me. So it's a win-win situation, especially when you can actually get a material return or gain or profit from doing what you, again, love to do anyway. Man, that is something that is worth communicating for those that are in a position to really integrate that knowledge and that wisdom for themselves and in their own regard. That's how we build more of that we spread more of that creative consciousness around. It becomes more of a dense reality than what's the word, like a not a scarce one, but like when it's just like uncommon, pretty much a phenomenon. That's what I mean. Yeah, like a more dense reality than it is like a phenomenal one that's not typical. We want that to be the norm. Can't get enough greatness circulating in this world, where each one teaches one and is inspired by the next to just be the best that they could possibly be. And it sounds so cliche, I know, but it's just the way. Hate it or love it, this is the way. To find that special brand of magic that only you possess, bottle it up, manufacture it, promote it, sell it, demonstrate it, whatever you see fit to do. But allow that creativity to manifest in such a way that hopefully there's still something of it here left to reverence, even perhaps when you are no longer. That's the intention, that's the ideal. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's a powerful way to start. And these are the vibes for this month. And again, allow things to be brought to closure or released that are not in alignment with that intention. Because the more you can get out of the way, or allow to be moved out of your way, the more the good stuff has room to really filter in and find its place to, stabilize for the long haul. So good luck and Godspeed and God bliss in all that you do in alignment with that ambition. In spirit and in flesh. It is so and so it is. All right, so again, have a wonderful week. Keep your head up. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep proclaiming the absolute best for your life and the best possible outcome for your future. And stay adaptable and agreeable to however the divine needs to mold and shape you to fit that reality, or for that reality to integrate with you. All right. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.